Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Now, before we get started, I just want to remind you to please hit subscribe to become an official resident of LJV and get a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews and figure reveals like today's very exciting video showing you all the images that were revealed at Ringside Fest 2023. Now, yes, this channel, LumberJillville, and me, Mayor Aaron, we are all about women's wrestling figures, and that's what we're going to focus on. However, I am going to show all the reveals shown because I went through the effort of organizing all the reveals kind of by series to give you a better idea as to when to expect things and what's coming out with what. So I am going to show all the images that were shown at Ringside Fest 2023. So Ringside Fest is ringsidecollectibles.com. It's kind of their yearly celebration where they show reveals. They do a Q&A with Bill McKenna and Steve Ozer, and we get to learn a lot of new things about upcoming figures, and we get to see a lot of upcoming figures. So that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to show you images of what's coming out, maybe talk about some things that they discussed. I just got done watching the Q&A with Bill and Steve, so I have some things to talk about that, which is pretty cool. So I know no one wants to see me. Let's dive right into the images. If you hear a cat meowing, it's because I got my boy Luke. He's on my lap and he doesn't want to move, so that's okay with me. So let's get this started. I made a little slideshow presentation, if you will, taking me back to high school. Let's get the screen here. Okay. Let's figure out what I'm doing first here. There we go. There we go, everybody. I did it. I did it. I did it. All right, so Ringside Fest 2023. Here we go. So we got the first set of reveals. All right, we have from Basic Series 147, Katana Chance, and Basic Series 148, Kaden Carter. Now, I am so excited to get these figures. You know, I have been such a big fan of Katana and Kaden all the way from their days back in NXT. I think they're the best women's tag team out there with their fluidity, how they work together, their team moves, their charisma. I think they're amazing. I want them to get pushed to the moon. I'm glad they're on the main roster, but I wish they would get more time. You know, they've been having a lot of singles matches on main event, but that ain't going to cut it for me, right? I want to see them pushed to the moon. So I'm glad they're getting figures. Now, let's talk about these figures here. So basic 147 Katana Chance. It does not look good. I'm just going to be honest. The face looks okay, looks a little off, but that body sculpt, I don't know what they're doing here. So I think this might be the same one that they used on, I think it is the same body sculpt they used on Aaliyah, and it just doesn't work. It didn't work for Aaliyah, and it doesn't work for Katana. She's very, very slender, very slim, very petite, and they're using this torso that's wider than normal, which is confusing because pretty much all of Sasha Banks's basics, Zelina Vega's basic, even Mandy Rose's basic had a very petite, small torso that would have been perfect for Katana. It was almost made for Katana. So I don't know why they don't use that on this figure. It's kind of mind-boggling, head-scratching. I just don't understand it because that torso, it's a real petite one. I guess they haven't used it in a little bit, but they have to have the mold still. So I don't know why they didn't bring it back for this basic, because if this is how the basic comes out, it's not going to be good. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan with how it looks. But on the other hand, Kaden Carter from Basic Series 148 looks unbelievable. Absolute fire. We got the tattoo detail. The body sculpt looks great. The part choices. The face looks great. The hair looks awesome. It's a night and day type thing. It's kind of like the JC Jane and the Gigi Dolan basics. JC was a knockout of the park, amazing basic, and Gigi was not. And that's what this kind of reminds me of. So I'm a little disappointed in the Katana, but hopefully they make some changes, especially to that torso when it comes out, so it's more accurate and looks better. But I was really excited for these reveals because it's been a long time coming for them. Moving on. Okay, let's go. There we go. Okay, now we got Elite 109 and Bailey. So this Bailey looks awesome. This might be, no, this is my favorite reveal that we had. it wasn't as many reveals as like the WrestleMania reveals or the Comic-Con reveals. But what we did see are some really cool figures. Now, we did see this, I believe it was a 3D render of this Elite 109 Bayley, and now this is it all painted up. And oh my God, this figure looks amazing. Again, the torso choice is a little bit of a head scratcher, but it's not horrible, and the figure itself looks amazing. Now, my only thing that I have to say about this that's kind of a complaint, I guess, and I'm going to keep this positive, but I'm going to say what I want to say, because I think opinions are important. So I really want to hear in the comments below what you guys think about the figures I'm showing you so that I don't come off as like a, complainer, I guess. But either way, okay, so we have gotten a Dakota Kai Elite, an Elite 104, and Io Sky Elite and Elite 105. And we're just now getting a Bayley, and it's not coming out till Elite 109, y'all. That's probably, I don't know, 5 months away. So that's kind of weird that the leader of Damage Control is going to finally be released when Damage Control probably won't even be a thing anymore. Yeah, it's just a little confusing. I don't understand why she wasn't released first. I thought maybe they had an Ultimate lined up that they weren't sharing, and that would have been awesome from her look at SummerSlam 2022. But we didn't get that. So it's a little bit of a head scratcher, like I said, why this Bayley was pushed so far back in the Elite line compared to Dakota and Io, but it looks amazing. It looks awesome. It looks my favorite Bayley figure, period. I have all her figures. Love Bayley. This looks fantastic. I cannot wait for this figure. And the other big women's figure reveal was Ria Ripley, Elite 110s. That's one series after Bayley. And obviously here we have her side plates, which is awesome on that SmackDown Women's Championship. I'm guessing it's going to be the smaller SmackDown Women's Championship. You can't really tell from this image. It looks huge, but I'm guessing it's going to be the more petite, more female scaled Women's Championship for the SmackDown brand. And I think that'll be awesome. Now, the figure itself looks really, really cool. I love the face sculpt and the scan. I love the hair that's slicked back. The all-white look looks great. However, the legs look really, really skinny, and I know that's kind of been an issue with her figures in the past, is the part choices, right? And the legs have always been kind of a head scratcher. Now, it doesn't look horrible. It's not as bad as like Bianca's Elites from the past, or Bianca and Rhea and Charlotte's basics as of late. It's not that noticeable, but they do look a little too thin, a little not properly scaled. But I'll wait to see actual images of the figure because this looks pretty freaking awesome. I'm going to be honest with you. I love the tattoo detail. I love the stocking, the fishnet look over top of it, and the attire is just beautiful. I think they did a great job there with the design, so I'm real excited for that, and that's going to go perfect with Dom Dom, which we will see here in a little bit. So moving on to I guess the last female image reveal that they had was China from the DX Retro. They say 4-pack, but it's actually 2-packs. You could get the Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, or you can get Triple H and China. Now, I did pre-order this because I have reviewed a Bull Nakano Cella, which is kind of like a retro, but I thought that figure was pretty horrible, to be honest with you. And this looks like what an actual Hasbro would have looked like if they released a female. If China would have came out in the Hasbro line, if she was wrestling in the early 90s, this is what it would have looked like. And I'm actually more excited for this than I thought I would be. And obviously, I'm going to be getting that Triple H too, and that's going to be really interesting because these will be my first retro figures. I've never even owned a Hasbro. I've played with them when I was a little kid, but I never owned any. So I'm really excited to review this China and even review the Triple H, honestly, because I'm very new to the retro game. And yeah, I'm just really stoked for this, even though, to be honest with you, I'm good on China figures. I've said this after her like third Elite. I was like, you know what? I'm good. I've had enough China figures for now. I'm good. But yeah, it's cool to get her in retro form. I think it's definitely fitting and deserving, and I cannot wait to review this. All right, so now let's go into the lines here. We have Basic Series 146. On the left, Giovanni Vinci. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's cool he's getting a figure, but I don't think it's the best likeness. Doesn't look like the best figure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much to say on that. Actually, this whole slide, oh man, this whole slide is kind of a rough one, I just realized. So moving on to Bret Hart from Basic 1. Oh, hi, Luke. Hi. You can't figure out who I'm talking to. So basic 146, Bret Hart, the regular in the pink, and the chase, which is the pink top with the black heart. Y'all, look at this face. What is going on with Brett's face? What have they done? For some reason, they have never done a great job. They've had a couple figures that they did a pretty good job of capturing Brett's likeness, but it has been a while, and they have done a terrible job at Mattel capturing Bret Hart's likeness. Now, my theory in that is they know what they're doing, and they're doing that so that people buy these, and then in a couple years, they release the same figure with a better scan, and then people get those to replace these, and then they bought two figures instead of one. So that's like my Rusty Shackelford conspiracy theory, right? Because they can't be accident. These face scans and sculpts of Bret Hart don't look like they're accidental mess ups. It looks like they were purposely done to not look very good. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, terrible, terrible. All right, moving on to 147, basic 147. We have Katana, as I showed earlier. And I'll be honest with y'all, I can't tell what color she's wearing. You know, I'm colorblind. And whatever shade she's wearing and whatever shade that Kaden's wearing, I have no freaking clue if it's green, if it's gray, if it's blue. No idea. So let me know in the comments what color Katana's wearing and if it's the same color as Kaden, because I have no clue. So we got Ted DiBiase again. We've been seeing him a lot. We see him more than a lot of current day superstars in these lines, to be honest with you. Now, this is a basic line, so it's a little different. We haven't gotten a basic of him in a while. We have two suit sculpts. We have a black and then we have a green, which is going to be the chase. So that looks pretty good. It looks like a better face sculpt than scan. You know, that's one thing I've never understood is a lot of the recent Legends Elites of Ted DiBiase. Like if you actually look at the figure, if you actually look at it in the face, it looks nothing like Ted DiBiase. You know, it looks like a guy with a goatee and the same hairstyle, but it's a miss in my opinion that gets overlooked a lot of times. But this sculpt and scan of the face looks really good. It actually looks like him, so I commend that. And then we have Seth Rollins. Looks great. Looks just like him. I love the hair coloring there. Next up, we got a big image of that basic 148 Kaden Carter. I cannot wait for this. I'm definitely going to order multiples of this one. Big fan of Kaden. Kaden and Katana, you know, I collect a lot of their cards, or at least I did at one point. And yeah, I'm a big supporter of them. I think they're amazing. So I'm really excited for this figure, and I can't wait for it to come out. So the Summerslam line this year, no women. That sucks. There's no women in this line. And what we have Lex Luger, which I'll be honest, it looks awesome. USA Lex Luger looks great. Looks awesome. Takes me back to when I was a kid. I think it looks amazing. I love the red, white, and blue look, which we have got before, but not this exact attire. So it's cool that we get that. Then we got X-Pac, boring figure in my opinion. Kane. I know a lot of people were excited for this Kane. This is kind of the, I want to say the early 2000s Kane when he just became unmasked and shaved his head. And I remember watching him on Raw, so definitely a nostalgia feel there. And then we have Undertaker. I think that's when he did the, he sat up. He might have been facing Brock Lesnar. I don't know. Don't quote me. But he sat up and did like it was like a meme. He did the eyes open, the ha, 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 ha. And they gave him that face, which is pretty awesome. So it's an okay line, but I'm out on that one. And then the Build-A-Figure is John Cone, the referee. So that's pretty cool that we get a referee. I know we've got Dangerous Danny Davis in the past, and obviously we got Aubrey in the AEW line. But this will be the first, like, official current day ref, I guess. And it's a much needed piece to collections. And it is unfortunate you have to buy all the figures to actually get this figure built because it is a Build-A-Figure. But I think it's cool. I know John Cone, it sounds like he collects figures, so it's really cool he's getting his own figure. I think it's pretty awesome. And the fact that we have all the hands with the 1 count, the 2 count, the 3 count, the open hand to slap the mat, I think this will be a sought-after figure. I really do. All right, next up, we have the Elite Top Picks line. We have Sheamus. And, okay, so something that they started doing in these reveals, and I think what they're trying to show are the soft goods that are coming with it. Because before they would just show the figure and people would be asking, hey, does it come with the robe? Does it come with the shirt? What does it come with? And they'd have to answer because the soft goods aren't included in the 3D renders. However, now it looks like they're adding an image when the soft goods are added. So here we have Sheamus with his mask, his hat, and it looks like we're going to be getting that soft goods coat. I almost said robe. That's not robe. Coat. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Cody Rhodes here. Elite Top Picks in like a brownish maroon color. And then in the middle, we have Logan Paul. It's funny, it's a top picks line, but this is actually his first elite. He had an Ultimate Edition, Mattel Creations, I believe. And then he has a battle pack coming out. And I believe this is his first elite. So what makes it top picks, I don't really understand. But it actually looks like a pretty freaking cool elite. Yeah, and the fact that it's probably going to come with that vest that he's pictured with there is pretty neat. Comes with a little prime bottle. Definitely cool. I mean, it's one of those figures that if I saw it on the shelves, I might actually be tempted. I don't get men's figures often. Like everyone knows that. I don't. But that one looks kind of cool to be honest. Moving on, this is one that I probably will pick up. Elite 108, LA Knight. I almost said Eli Drake. LA Knight. Yeah, and it looks awesome. It looks great. I wasn't too crazy about the face, but when I zoomed in, as crazy as it sounds, when I zoomed in, I was like, oh, that looked cool. So I don't know if it's just the 3D rendering, but it looks a little bit off in the face, but I actually think it'll turn out great. I think it'll look awesome because if I look at it up close, it looks like him. So that's what matters, I guess, right? But it comes with this vest, comes with the microphone, obviously, and it looks cool. I hope we get his little shades. I hope we get his little circular shades. That would be awesome. Next up, we have Elite 109. I showed that Bailey off earlier. That's my number one most anticipated figure. And it looks like by them adding this photo of her, it looks like she's going to come with that damage control shirt, which is definitely a nice little addition. I love that. I'm going to pre-order like 4 of that figure. I'm just going to tell you right now. And on the left here, we have Seth Rollins in all gold, and we have that new championship. I believe the first time we're getting that new championship. So that's definitely a cool figure. Definitely going to be sought after. And, yeah, I think it looks awesome. Looks just like him. And then, yeah, we have Bronson Reed. Now, Bronson Reed is really good. He's really cool. He's got a great look. He moves so well for being so big. He reminds me of like the modern day reincarnation of Vader or Bam Bam Bigelow, right? Which obviously his attire is inspired by Bam Bam. But he's not exactly over with the fans, really. You know, this was a big shock to me to see him coming out with another figure because his last elite, I could probably still go to my Walmart and find it. It just, and even at one point it was on sale for like $7 and no one was buying it. So yeah, I don't know how this one will sell, but I think it looks cool. I think it looks great. And I think Bronson's cool. So I think that's awesome. Next up, we have Elite 109. So on the left here, we have Shinsuke Nakamura. And this figure looks awesome. I mean, Shinsuke is one of those superstars that all his figures are pretty dang cool. But this one is going to be awesome because it was confirmed, I believe, in the comments on ringsidecollectibles.com that this robe that's pictured on the right is going to be included. And it's kind of funny. I saw someone saying that this is kind of the look he went with when he was in Pro Wrestling Noah. So it's cool that he wore it in WWE so they can use it, even if it wasn't his, primary attire he wore in WWE. They can use it because he did wear it in WWE. So that robe with this figure is going to look great. I think it's going to look real cool. On the far right, we have Damian Priest. I mean, my God, that likeness is unbelievable. I mean, Damian's had some pretty awesome figures so far, in my opinion, except for his first basic. That was a funny one. That was one of the worst. However, his elites have been awesome. And this elite looks amazing. I'm a huge fan of Damian Priest. I will probably pick this up. Like I said, I don't get too many men's figures, women's wrestling figure collector, but I love Damian. Him and Ciampa are probably my top 2 guys, my top 2 favorites, as random as that is. So I'll definitely think about picking that up because it looks spot on. And in the middle, we have Dom Dom. Now, this Dom Dom looks freaking awesome. I think this is going to be a top seller. I think this is maybe going to be one of the top selling Mattel Elites that we've seen in a while because not only does it come with this alternate head with the bandana over the mask and the sunglasses, but it looks like it might be coming with this plaid shirt. My God, this figure is going to be cool. This figure is going to be cool. It looks like he's got his hair and like his mullet type look. So yeah, I think it looks neat. I'm excited to see the final product there. Elite 110, we have that Ria Ripley I showed y'all. We have Pete Dunne here, and he looks like he might be coming with that Fight Night soccer jersey, which is definitely cool. We haven't gotten a Pete Dunne figure in a little while, so it's definitely deserving for him, and that's cool that we're getting another one. So that looks cool. Comes with a spanking paddle. No, I'm just kidding. And then we have this cracks me up, y'all. Bruno Sammartino. So this was supposed to be in the Legends line, and it got moved. It got moved to Elite 110. And I love that they obviously photoshopped the face, but it looks like if you ever played GoldenEye on the N64, this is how their faces looked. Like we have this 3D model and then like a picture of a face just plastered on that 3D model. And yeah, I can't get enough of how amazingly, awesomely weird that looks. I just think it's funny. But he comes with a little podium and a microphone and a plaque, and I would love to display that figure. Oh my god, display him standing. I dare y'all to display him standing at that podium, holding the plaque like he just accepted that award, in his green chundies and all his hairy glory just exposed. I think that's hilarious. Maybe if we got a suited Bruno, it'd make sense to give him that podium and the plaque, but I think it's hilarious that he's in his green chundies and we get a podium and a plaque. Like, oh man, that tickles me. All right, next up, it's time. Yes, boy. We get Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. Now, these two I am definitely picking up. I am a huge fan of Pretty Deadly. Actually, if I reach behind my computer, I can show y'all. I collect women's wrestling figures, women's wrestling cards, but these are two men's cards that I have that I'm really proud of. These mezzanine tie-dye Elton Prince and Kit Wilson cards. I will never sell these. I just think these look so cool together, and their matching pose and the tie-dye effect. I don't know. I just think it looks cool. But yeah, so this Elton and this Kit look freaking awesome. I love those alternate heads, and I love that they come with open hands so they can do their little pose. And from what I saw, which I think we'll get to, yeah, here we go. From what I saw, the images, when they're putting them next to the figures now, it seems like the soft goods that you see in the image are going to come with that Elite. So it looks like they're coming with those shirts. Y'all, I cannot tell you how excited I am for these figures. I might actually review. It might be a rare exception in LumberJillville, and I might actually review these guys in LumberJillville because they're awesome. They look great. I think they're a great tag team, but these figures look awesome. So I cannot freaking wait. Moving on, we have ringside exclusive ultimate editions. I believe this might be a 2-pack. We have the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. These look really, really cool. Nash comes with a couple different heads, a couple t-shirts, WCW Tag Team Championship, a vest, and then Hall, kind of the same thing. And I want to be honest with y'all, like, I mean, it's cool that we're getting these, but I get really sick of kind of seeing the same guys, the same figures, just released in different forms. Like, I'm going to be honest, I'm already sick of all the Cody Rhodes figures that we've got and that we're getting from his recent return. It's like, oh my gosh, I like seeing new superstars or especially new women involved in the line. And to see, oh my God, I don't think we saw a Hogan, did we? We'll go through these images and see, but I don't think we saw a Hogan released or revealed. Wow. But yeah, I'm kind of over it. I mean, they've made tons of Kevin Nash's, tons of Scott Halls. I mean, these are kind of the end all be all of the two. So if you're fans of the Outsiders, fans of WCW, fans of these guys, pick these up and don't worry about the 800 other figures they have. Next up, we have Ultimate Edition 21. Once again, as I mentioned, Cody Rhodes, Cody. It's all I'm going to say, just like the AEW line all over again, y'all. But this time, instead of that really weird soft goods entrance robe that had a bunch of designs painted on it, it was bizarre. It looks like they went with a sculpted piece this time. It looks like the arms are going to be interchangeable. So they kind of went the same route that AEW Jazzwares did with the Supreme. And I think it's the right decision. I think it looks a lot better. But it looks cool. Then we have this real scale wrestling ring with Eric Bischoff, WCW Nitro. I mean, these are the days. This Nitro ring, I used to watch WCW religiously, and this definitely brings me back. And this definitely looks cool. And I think the Bischoff looks really cool. I mean, that's WCW Bischoff through and through. So it's definitely neat to have him included in Ultimate Edition form, mind you, which is a little bizarre because that's one of those figures that would work great in Elite. You can even make a basic of the Eric Bischoff, but Ultimate Edition form, I don't know. Just seems like a waste of an Ultimate Edition spot, in my opinion. But yeah, this looks cool. I mean, we're not getting that WCW entrance, but we are getting this ring. So I know a lot of people that back the WCW entrance are a little bummed out, that they don't have that to go with this ring. And I understand. But yeah, I mean, it's no surprise it it didn't get funded, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother debate and whatnot. But I just hope all those people that are disappointed or upset that the Nitro stage didn't get funded, I hope that this kind of helps them a little bit, right? I hope they're at least like, well, you know what? At least I can get this ring and this Eric Bischoff because I think it's a cool thing to have. And I know a lot of people were disappointed in that, and I don't want to see the wrestling figure community disappointed, to be honest with you. So I hope this can kind of be a nice consolation prize for them to have something Monday Nitro in their collection. Then we have the three faces of Foley, which are going to be three individual elites that actually come out of this box here. We have Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack. Oh no. And then, okay, so this is from the Q&A today. I screenshotted these from ringsidecollectibles.com, their Q&A. And this is Bill showing off the Asuka Ultimate Edition 20. And oh my God, y'all, this might be the greatest women's wrestling figure of all time. Now, I have reviewed every single women's wrestling figure released since I started this channel about 4 years ago. And I've even gone back and reviewed old ones. And I have to say that if this figure in hand is as good as everything I'm seeing on it, it's gonna be runaway figure for figure of the year. And it looks like it might be the greatest women's wrestling figure of all time. Now, I'm not gonna jump the gun here. You know, I'm gonna wait and see it in hand, but look at this. He was showing off the robe and he was also showing off the mask. Unbelievable. Then he took off the mask and we have the Asuka, the Kana look with the clown makeup, and she has the mist dripping out of her mouth, which is unbelievable. And a biggest thing is we get butterfly joints, y'all. We get butterfly joints on the first women's Ultimate Edition, which is a big step in the right direction because before the Ultimate Edition women's figures were basically glorified elites with toe articulation, right? And extra accessories. But now we have the butterfly joints in the torso, and I'm stoked. I think it looks great. I cannot wait to have this figure. I actually regret only pre-ordering 2. I'm definitely going to have to pre-order more because this one looks like the best of all time. All right. So those were all the reveals, all the images. I sat in the Q&A and listened to them talk about that, and he showed off some figures. He also showed off Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. And those look really good in hand, especially the Cora. I mean, my jaw dropped. It looks super, super cool. So I'm really excited for those to be coming out. But all in all, I really like Ringside Fest. I think it's really cool. You know, obviously we have a little thing with Ringside Collectibles where you use discount code LJV at checkout and you save 10% on your next order of wrestling figures. And you know, I have a great relationship with Ringside, and you know, they've always been good to me, and I've always pre-ordered from them. And it's just cool that they have this event once a year that they get to show off some reveals that we haven't seen yet. So it's definitely a lot of fun. And yeah, as far as what I'm excited most for, I would say that Bailey Elite 109, hands down, or the Kaden Carter, you know, basic 148. But let me know in the comments below what you're most looking forward to. Of all the images I showed you, what reveal really stood out to you? And also let me know what you were hoping to see. Now, as far as what I was hoping to see, that's tough to say because I didn't know if these reveals were going to be like 2 figures, 3 figures, figures we already saw, or new ones. And I was pleasantly surprised that we did see a lot of new figures. You know, I still hold on hope that we get a Jacqueline Moore in the Legends line. I mean, that would just make me freak out because I think she's so deserving. Jacqueline is so deserving of a Legends figure. And I'm waiting for that day. And when it happens, I'm going to be ordering so many of those because I've really been pushing for that for a while. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of women superstars I'd like to see. But I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm going to dwell at what we saw, and what we saw was pretty dang cool. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Make sure to hit subscribe to become an official resident of LJV. And you want to say bye-bye, Lukey? Lukey. He's scared. Say bye-bye, buddy. It's my boy, Lukey. Say bye-bye. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, y'all.